What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're taking another look at Stellar Blade here, this time on the ROG Ally X. Now, I've already put up videos for the Steam Deck and the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus, and ultimately the game's very playable on all the handhelds with room to adjust from lower to higher resolutions, upscaling with FSR, some TAA potentially, or just messing with low to medium settings and getting the performance that you want. There are some frame time and pacing issues and frame drops that are happening on kind of all the handhelds, especially the Z1 Extremes and the Claw, and some on my desktop PC as well. Hopefully drivers and patches can help that out. 1080p, 900p, and 720p would be the options we have here. I think a lot of you might opt for 900p here. 720p will be better performance. 1080p is a bit rough, and you're probably going to be lowering some settings and getting more aggressive with the upscaling, which we'll take a look at here as we go into graphics. I'm going to leave that on custom. We're using FSR 3 for now on 1080p with performance on the FSR, and then medium settings with a few tweaks to that. Clutter densities down to low, 50 and 40 for the visible distances, low on the fog, low on ambient occlusion. We have depth of field, motion blur, and that kind of stuff turned off, and low on screen space reflections. Kind of helps keep performance a little balanced and looking better than just straight low. But of course, again, there is room here to adjust the settings, resolution, all that to get the performance you're looking for. But this should give you an idea kind of in the middle of where the game's running, at least for these areas of the game. It could get interesting a little later on when we get into more combat, more enemies on screen and stuff later on down the road. But getting into this here, we'll start off with some 1080p. We're going to make some changes to some settings. We'll make some changes to the resolution, and I'll be leaving you guys with a little bit of gameplay for all that, so you can see some of that here as well. But anyways, 1080p custom medium here, FSR 3 performance, 25 watts, 8 gigabytes of VRAM, which is more than enough for this game. We'll go in here and switch over to TAA 80% for a second, just kind of show you that. It can be pretty good for the lower resolutions especially, or getting some sharper images without the pixelation that FSR might give you sometimes. So it does have a lot more kind of shimmer and stuff when you're not in a lot of motion, and I just kind of tended to stick with FSR, but you can do what you want there with that. If we go in here to the settings and switch over to 900p, which might be kind of a sweet spot here, still with FSR 3 on performance, we do jump up to about 54 FPS here as we sit still. It is still going to vary though, all the way from like 30 to 60 FPS depending on where we're at. Jumping up to quality, we'll come down to about 46 FPS, which is the same as 1080p set at performance. So you can run that how you want there and judge that. Now switching over to 720p on performance, we'll go all the way up to 63 or so FPS. So obviously giving us the most performance with these custom medium settings. Now we can go ahead and change this to quality FSR as well, like we did at 900p, and it'll bring us down to about 55 or so FPS, similar to what performance on 900p would give us. So we'll go in here and switch over to balanced on 900p, and I do think this is kind of a sweet spot that works out as far as the upscaling and the resolution. You might want to adjust some settings down a little bit more if you want to keep the frame rate higher, but I think ultimately works pretty well. But yeah, that should give you kind of a general idea where we're at here. Again, it's going to depend on the missions and how things play out later on in the game, but it certainly is a game that's coming out here from another PlayStation game that is playable on the handheld. So I'll leave you with a little bit more gameplay here for all the resolutions. As always, thanks a lot for coming and check out the video. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.